Okay, so what if AI could do more than just talk to you? I mean, what if it could actually do the work for you? That's the huge shift we're diving into today, and we're going to look at it through the lens of these new tools like Claude Code.
I mean, we've all gotten so used to this, right? You pop open a chat window, you ask a question, and boom, you get a pretty smart answer back. It's kind of like having that super smart friend you can just text for advice anytime.
But now, imagine if that friend, instead of just giving you advice, could actually reach right through the screen, grab your mouse, and start building the very thing you asked about. That is the massive leap we're talking about today.
So that leads to a couple of huge questions, right? First, how is this even possible? And second, and maybe more importantly, what does this whole new era of AI actually mean for you, for how you get stuff done? Let's break it all down.
All right, so let's jump into it. We're moving from a world of just chatting with AI to a world where AI is doing. And you got to understand, this isn't just some small update. We're talking about a completely new category of AI, a really fundamental change in how we relate to our technology.
And check out this quote from AI researcher Ethan Mollick. He puts these new agentic systems on the same level as the launch of GPT-4. Think about that. That's how big of a deal this is. So what on earth does agentic even mean? It's simple, really. It just means the AI has agency, the power to act on its own. It's a total paradigm shift, from an AI that just talks to one that truly does.
Okay, so that brings us to the AI agent itself. What is an agent, really? Let's cut through all the jargon and just get to what makes this kind of AI so different. We'll use Claude Code as our main example here.
In this slide, man, it just lays it out so clearly. Think about a chatbot. It's isolated, right? You feed it info, it spits a response back. But an AI agent, that's totally different. It's integrated. It takes action for you. And here's the kicker. It gets its own context by reading your project files directly. No more endless copy and pasting.
You know, this is honestly the best analogy I've come across. A chatbot is like an advisor you call for an opinion. But an AI agent, that's like hiring a contractor for a job. It shows up at your project, reads every single file, looks over the whole code base, and then just starts building what you ask for, all on its own.
So, you're probably wondering, what's the secret sauce here? What makes this AI contractor so powerful? Well, it all comes down to one incredible technical leap. It's memory.
1 million. That's the number of tokens this AI can hold in its working memory at any given time. It is a massive, massive number, and it completely changes the game. But what does that actually mean in the real world?
Well, that number is what we call its context window. Think of it like the AI's short-term memory. And a token is basically a piece of a word. So, 1 million tokens? That is a colossal amount of information. We're talking enough to read a 3,000-page book and remember all of it at once. Or, for a developer, it's enough to read your entire project code base. It can understand and think about the whole thing at the same time without forgetting a single detail. And that's the magic, right? It could spot a tiny inconsistency between a file here and another one way over there, instantly. It can hold a super complex plan in its head, so you don't have to keep repeating yourself. That's what unlocks its power.
Okay, so this brings up a really important question. If you have this incredibly powerful AI, how do you actually manage it? It's not just a tool, it's more like a teammate. So let's talk about how you actually onboard your new AI project teammate.
It really comes down to just 2 essential files. First, you've got this file, claude.md. Think of this as the employee handbook. This is where you lay out the rules, tell the AI how it should behave and what your standards are. Then you have the project_specs file. That's the blueprint, right? That's what the AI is actually supposed to build. And it's just like with a person. You're not going to get good work without clear instructions and a solid brief. And this is where it gets really cool. Inside that handbook, you can set some seriously powerful rules. For example, you can tell it, hey, challenge my direction. Don't be a yes man. You can demand that it gives you a quality gauge. Real, honest feedback. No BS. And maybe the most important one, you can tell it to test its own work first before it ever hands anything over to you. That's a game changer.
All right, now we get to the part that feels like it's straight out of science fiction. We're talking about the AI actually controlling your computer. This is where the agent is no longer just stuck in its own little window. It's about to break out.
This is the big breakthrough, for real. The AI can operate outside of its own little sandbox. Now, with your permission, of course, it can open other apps right on your desktop, it can browse websites, and basically it can use your computer just like a person would.
So how does it decide what to do? Well, it actually has a clear decision-making process. The first thing it tries to do is use something called a connector. That's basically a direct pre-built link to another app. It's the fastest, most efficient way. If that's not an option, its plan B is to use your web browser to get things done. And if all else fails, its last resort is to actually take visual control of your screen. It will literally move the mouse and type on the keyboard just like a person would. It's the slowest way, sure, but it means pretty much any task is now possible.
Okay, so this all sounds amazing in theory, but the big question is, does it actually work in the real world? Well, let's look at a case study from the e-commerce giant Rakuten. So here's the before. Their average time to deliver a brand new feature was 24 days.
And the after? Once they integrated an AI agent into their workflow, that time plummeted to just 5 days. I mean, think about that. That's not just an improvement, that is a absolutely game-changing leap in speed and efficiency. You can learn faster, you can build faster, and you can get value to your users in just a fraction of the time.
And that really leaves us with one final thought, doesn't it? This technology, it's not some far-off hypothetical anymore. It's here, right now. So the real question for you, for all of us, is this. When you have a true AI teammate that can read your files, make a plan, and actually build things, what's the very first piece of your work that you're going to give it?